of us. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. I see it in the papers, read it every day. The riots and the fires going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take you for your money and whatever else bring. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me.
What's up, dude?
Guitar Players Planet. Guitar Players Planet.
JP.
Guitar Players Planet.
Good.
Guitar Players Planet.
Yep.
Walked away to what you thought was real. You took everything that I had, yeah. Walked away, but you left one thing behind. You're wondering just what that is. Yes, you are. Well, the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the world comes tumbling down, I'll be there. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. We're gonna make a little love down by the water. Maybe I'm the sun, maybe I'm a daughter when the music man calls. That's when I gotta play. So I burn for the things we never had. I'm burning with hate, with love. Spin around, round. 'Cause as a boy I had a dream. Carry it with me today. Yes, I do. When the world stops spinning around, I'll be rocking. When the walls come tumbling down, I'll be there. Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the South holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the lands of the new. Oh, na 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 na. Seems to me that I have lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must go back before it's too late. You're afraid, you're feeling alone. Time and space can never unfold. The holidays can ring in your fear. The ghostly embrace can only mean tears. And I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back for lands of blue. Oh, na 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 na. Sitting at the lake, I'm feeling confused, but I had my guitar, so I played them to you. But I'm afraid, it might be true that I might never be back again. Seems to me that I have lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must be back before it's too late. Before it's too late. Someone to take me down at night. Someone to make my day. New revelation fills my soul. Oh, I can waste away. You distracting my attention. You're all that's on my mind. You not looking for perfection, but you're too hard to find. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone new. ends with you. Distracting my attention, you're all that's on my mind. You, not looking for perfection, but you're too hard to find. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do, yeah. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone else, yeah. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do, yeah. She knows that nothing feels sweeter than someone else. Yeah, alone it feels funny that I'm in love with you, yeah. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone else. Yeah, 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 you. Oh, you. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Oh, you. All right. Hey, yeah, yeah. Where did
And Pete, oh, there you go. Scott is Jesse tonight. All right, that's I'm on the ball today.
Yeah.
Jeez, I just want to make sure that we got all the audio going because
You all right there, man? Just pass it around. I know you're a little off there, but just keep passing it around to each of us. You know,
yeah, I think
it's all good.
Good. I'm hearing echoes, so that's good. So everyone's already going off about 420. And for those of you guys and girls that are watching, no, I am not stoned. I am sick. So I haven't smoked in I don't even remember. I'm a drinker, man. I'm not a smoker. You know, it's like that old saying. What was it? What was it? Dead Poets Society, was it, or Goodwill Hunting? I think it was Goodwill Hunting. Whatever it was, it was Ron Williams who said. He says, "You're a smoker or you're not. Choose one, and be that." You know. So, but anyway, how's it going, everybody?
Hey, happy 420, everybody.
Yeah, if people want to chill around and hang out for a little bit, that's fine. I'm actually Pete and I are both stepping out early tonight. I am not feeling so hot. It's not COVID related. It's just body crashing.
It's
but
work.
It's total work. It's total work, and it's getting to me. So Eric, you know how IT is. It's just
Every once in a while, man, it happens.
And server's been down since Easter, and it's a mess. But anyway, I'm not even going to get into that right now. But thank you for everybody for showing up.
We digress.
Yeah, we do that a lot. You know this. We know this. We all know this. And it's just gonna be worse because I'm sick. So it's gonna be worse. Right. But so how's it going, everybody? Why is my YouTube going back and forth? It's kind of crazy. It's saying 20 viewers, then 1 viewers, and 20 viewers. I don't know. Something's going wacky. But how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show, albeit it's going to be a shorter one tonight. So let's go over, and hopefully I have it set up correctly here because I'm a little bit behind the ball, as we all know. Okay. So, good evening, everybody, and welcome to AstroWorld's Wednesday night AstroPhotography chat. And as we always do, we say thank you to all of our sponsors, all of our corporate and private sponsors. So thank you. At our main sequence level, we have Woodland Hills Camera and Telescopes plus Night Skies Network. And Joe from Night Skies Network is going to be on the show very soon. He's doing some other projects. Once he's done, he's going to go over the platform where you can kind of stream your own rig. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Red Giant level, thank you to Prima Luce Lab and Camera Concepts. And get ready if you haven't signed up for any of the giveaways, please sign up for the giveaways because you're gonna miss out on a big one in about 3 months. So Prima Luce has offered to, I guess, custom make a Eagle 4 Pro for us. So it's going to be great. So go to the website, www.astroworldweb.com. I really hate that website name, but it is what it is. And go there, go to the bottom, and you'll see all of our giveaways. You have to sign up for all individually. Some people want to be involved in one giveaway and not the other, so I made it a little bit customized for the people that want to win what they want to win. And Camera Concepts, Woodland Hills, they both have $50 gift certificate giveaways all throughout the year. So be involved in that. And then again, at our super giant level, we have Masters of PixInsight. They have donated a number of classes and memberships and all that kind of stuff. So that's really kind of cool. So again, there's good giveaways all over the net. So we have our first Black Hole member. That is anybody who donates more than $20 a month to us is considered a Black Hole member. So we have one, John Gambal. Thank you so much for being our first Black Hole member. And then our Red Giant members, Chris, Mark, Bob, Andrus, Dave, Rocky Mountain Astro, Josh, and Bob. I believe we have another person that transferred over to Patreon. If you haven't, switch over to Patreon, cancel the YouTube, and just come and hang out with us on Patreon. It's actually pretty cool. And then we got our main sequence members. There's too many. I'm not going to list them all, but thank you so much for everybody who has joined us at our main sequence level. And our Protostar Soul member, Kieran's Corner, thank you so much as well. Upcoming guest lists. We have a couple of things going on over the next couple of weeks. April 29th, we're going to be having Dr. Gaston from Innovations Foresight. He's going to be giving us a rundown on one of his products, and it's going to be the On-Axis Guider. It's going to be pretty cool, so come and check that out. Then on May 4th, we have Richard Wright from Starstone Software. Try and say that really quick. It's not easy. Starstone Software, he's also formerly of Software Bisque. So he's going to go over what he's got going on over at his software projects. It's going to be cool. Then we got Eric Coles, who's an astrophotographer, who's going to be giving us a rundown on some of his workflows. And he's also one of the founding members of the Astro Imaging channel, one of the guests over there. I'm sorry, one of the hosts over there. And on May 20th, we're going to have my buddy Maxi coming on. He's an astrophotographer from Argentina. You could also see a lot of his work if you go check out the Global Star Party on Explore Scientific's YouTube page And if it's a clear night, he actually streams his setup from Argentina, and you see some really kind of cool stuff if it's clear there, and it's usually clear, so you usually see some cool stuff. And that's well, all right. Well, that should have not have showed up. So May 25th, we're going to be having Chris Woodhouse. It's going to be a previously recorded session, and he's author of a bunch of books, including Capturing the Universe as well. So we'll be putting that on the show as a taped show. So that's going to be cool. And of course, go check us out on Discord, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And again, thank you all for coming on the show and hanging out with us. And we are going to be back in 3, 2, 1. And there we go. Jesse Wenke is with us at the bottom right-hand corner. I'll try and fix that, Scott. Give me a second. But yeah, so thanks everybody for coming in, hanging out with us. We really have no platform tonight, just talking a little bit. Right now, believe it or not, I'm sick and I'm imaging right now, or attempting to get. Me and Pete had some conversations regarding guiding and PhD and Pete, why don't you talk about real quick what we were discussing on the guiding and where to do the calibration and all that for some of the people out there that are some of the newer aspects of it.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Is that when we start initially with PhD 2, you have to do an initial calibration, and with an initial calibration, you have to be able to be plus or minus 30 degrees above or below celestial equator, 1 to 2 hours east or west of meridian. So what you want to do then is you want to pick a 5th magnitude star somewhere within that particular celestial radius. And then what you're going to do then is you're going to initially start the guide on a particular star that you choose. What you want to do then at that point is once you start the guide, let it start to run for about maybe 5 to 10 seconds, and then go over to the guide wizard within PhD 2. And the key to the guide wizard is that you want to let this run for at least 2 to 3 worm cycles. Now, what do I mean by worm cycles is the gear in the worm will do 1, 2 cycles. So specifically for all the different mounts that are out there, you're going to have to determine and look and find what the information is for what one worm cycle is. So when you do the guide assistant, you want to run it for at least a minimum of 2 worm cycles. 3 would be better. And then at that particular point, you'll be able to actually see your polar alignment. Depending upon if you're pretty accurate with your polar alignment, you'll start to see that number decrease to where if you're anywhere less than, say, 8 arc minutes, you're going to be good for your polar alignment. And then you'll see some recommendations on your min move, your hysteresis, and your aggressive. You can just follow those, click the recommendations, and then you're off and you're good to go. So that's the good thing about doing the calibration within PhD 2. When we had Heinrich on, the beauty about the star aid is that you don't have to go through that calibration procedure like you do with PhD 2, because remember with the star aid, you can point it to any point in the sky and it will just self-calibrate. So that's the difference between PhD 2 and the calibration process within star aid.
Nice.
Yeah, we said that for a while, and I've been having some issues with backlash with the EQ8R, and that's what started this whole conversation with Pete and Mark Ellis too. Thank you to Mark also as well, because we were all bouncing off each other, and it looks like the calibration went fine. I have it set now, so Nina actually points at no matter what, it points at almost due south at like 165 azimuth. I think I have it set at, and
okay.
0 deck. And I have it set, and it just goes there, and then it runs the calibration, and then stops the guiding, and goes and slews to the target, and then starts the guiding again. So it seems to be working out because I'm at 0.21 guiding right now. I don't know. Seems to be working out fine.
Well, so what are you imaging right now, Dan? What are you working on?
I'm getting some HA data on M106.
Okay.
That's what I'm, because the moon's going to be. I just wanted to do something quick. I didn't want to start a real project yet. Well, this is the beginnings of a project, but just so I could add that punch a little later.
Right.
But that's what it's going to be. So I'll do M106, and then I'm shooting M81, 82 with the Red Cat right now with the what is it? The Red Cat.
Yeah, with the ASI Air.
Yep.
Okay.
And it seems to be running on its own. Piece of cake. I did have to.
That's what they say. It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, right? I did have to change. I've been using the Exos 100 for the mount. I had to switch back to the EQM 35. As I started to get close to the zenith, the extra added weight of the EAF, the ASI Air, the dovetail, the Red Cat, the wires, and everything. The 11 pounds, plus I actually had to use a counterweight for the EQM 35 on this little tinky thing. It was pretty funny. But it was just too much for it to handle. Once it got towards the zenith, it was just going, zzz, click, zzz, click, zzz, click. So it was never moving. And so I'll have to save this for something a little bit more on a lighter scale. I'm not sure what that may be, but I still love the mount for a regular get up and go mount. I still love it, but it's just not. It's not good for what I'm going to be doing right now. I don't think.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, the the ZWO AM5 is supposed to be coming out in a couple more months, I believe. So, from what I've been hearing good things about that mount. However, like I say, it hasn't come out yet. Some of the tests look promising on that. I'm looking forward to, it coming over to Camera Concepts so you can get a shot at it. Because I'd even like to get a shot at that mount. Because that would be a great lightweight travel mount.
What, this little guy? You want to buy?
No, the AM5.
Oh, the AM5. Yeah.
AM5.
When we get our hands on it, we'll get our hands on it. It's just we don't we don't have it yet.
Yeah, no,
nobody's got it yet.
But, nobody's got it yet. You're right. It won't be out until for a few more months. And also TJ Conley, he posted the new video for ZWO on the new 533 mm Pro, which was a good video. And it'll be coming out pretty soon as well. I know they're taking pre-orders right now, and it's a reasonably priced, monochrome camera for for everything it does. It's about $1,000, just under $1,100.
Yeah.
And it's got super high quantum efficiency. You're talking like 91% quantum efficiency. A nice, good 50,000, I believe 50,000 full well depth. 0 amp glow. Just like the one shot color. So I'm looking forward to also testing that out and getting my hands on that, because they talk about, there has been talk about, could that actually be the nail in the coffin for the 1600?
Yep.
And the 1600 has been around, it's been a workhorse for years, and it's been a great camera. But if you look at, you're comparing the 1600 to the 533. That 533 blows it out of the water when it comes to quantum efficiency. I mean, you're talking between somewhere around 60% QE on the 1600, as well as around 25,000 on the full well depth, and you're double that on the 533. So I think that, you know, and I know you don't like the 1-inch sensor, but I think it's really cool, especially because it helps address, you know, dealing with a lot of, you know, concerns, possibly a lot of concerns dealing with vignetting.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I would say I don't like the 1-inch sensor. The 1-inch sensor is fine. I just don't like the square. You know, it's not
Right, you
the
don't like the
sensor
square.
is
That's what I
fine.
mean. That's what I mean.
The sensor's a great sensor, and that's why they came out with the mono version of it. But you know, the whole thing is that I just don't like. I don't like the square. That's all. It's a Coke and Pepsi thing. It's totally semantics. It's just me being weird.
I know.
That's it.
But like I said, you know, and also with having that square sensor, you know, it helps address, you know, some of those issues with that folks sometimes have with the rectangular sensors when it deals with vignetting. So that's also a little bit of a plus there as well.
This is going really good.
So yeah.
My let's see, my ASI air guiding on the EQM35 is 0.54. And it looks pretty good.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Pretty good. So let me share, you know, because I know you guys, and then we've been talking about this over the past, you know, couple weeks of me using CCD Inspector.
Yep.
You know, and trying to get my William Optics refractor, you know, getting that, you know, locked in before I really do any serious imaging. But so let me share this with you guys really quick. And if anyone else has used the CCD Inspector, let me know your thoughts on this, because I have really no clue. It's, you know, I don't know if you can see that or not.
Why is it flat on the top and flat on the bottom?
It's like, but take a look. I finally got I think I got the tilt straight.
Let me make it on the bigger side here. So I'm in the middle of doing 3 different things here. So let's make Eric a little bigger. There we go. And yeah, so yeah, your tilt looks very, very nice. Your curvature's a little out of whack.
Yeah, still the curvature's out of whack, and I think that's dealing still with the flattener.
Yep.
Curvature is dealing with the flattener. So still having some issues with that.
Once you get that curvature settled, you'll start to see the whole sides. You'll see it turn all blue. And
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking, and expecting it for it to turn all blue.
Yep.
You know, so at least, but now I feel good, because one thing I kept doing and going back and forth, I was telling you guys, going back and forth from the house to the scope, and then, you know, taking all of these different test shots, you know, running these and through the CCD Inspector, and then tweaking, you know, my tilt adapter and everything. So
right.
I think I've finally gotten past that hurdle for now, but you never know, because once I start working on the flattener again, I'm sure a lot of this is probably gonna get knocked out of whack again.
Yeah,
but just to get this low for now, I was like, I'm stopping. I'm going to bed, because I was up and, you know, till like close to 1 o'clock in the morning, just trying to get to this point. So that was interesting, you know. So, and it's gonna so the things just keep continuing, you know.
Yep. I'm trying to figure out.
Thank you, Syntho, for your awesome for your contribution there. $5, $4.99. Thank you. Appreciate
thank
it.
you, Syntho. I didn't even see it. See, I'm so out of it.
I know, man.
Thank you. Thank you for picking up the slack, man.
I got it. Let's see. We have a question from Mike G. How do you adjust curvature? Ooh. You adjust basically that's when you're using the field flattener, and you're looking a lot at the stars. That you're taking images and looking at the stars, and there's also other tools or websites that talk about this. So, for example, here's one right here.
Yep.
Where when you have issues with curvature, it's usually an issue with your sensor being either too far or too close to your optics. You don't have enough. You have either too much or too little back focus. So something like this, and I'm trying. Let me see if I can zoom this. And so you have stuff like this, and you're looking. And so when you're looking at your stars, you're doing those test images, those test previews. Take a look at those edges, and if you have those slightly elongated stars that are going inward, like this, too close, or going, in this direction, where it's almost like clockwise, I would say, you're too far.
Yep.
So this is what you want to take a look at, and to start addressing that that curvature, right? So one thing that I mentioned last week was I'm going to also take a stab at learning Nina.
Uh-oh.
And for the main reason I'm going to start, and the main reason, at least for right now, I'm going to start learning to take a stab at Nina, at least for right now, is so I can use Hocus Focus, which is the add-in that can help address the issues of your back focus. According to some websites, I believe one was Patriot Astro, if I'm not mistaken.
Patriot Astro, yep.
Yeah, he has a great video on YouTube discussing Hocus Focus. So I'm going to download it. I'm going to hook it up and get it outside, and I'm going to run a nice long cable or something down into my basement to my PC here, and I'm just going to start setting it up and learning. And then eventually I'll get to that point where if I feel comfortable using it, then I'll start using Hocus Focus and checking things out and see how far we're off, and see where we're at with certain things. Yeah,
just one thing we should really hit on as far as backspacing and flattener, since we got a couple of questions regarding it, is just before you start making those adjustments to your backspacing, whether you have an adjustable flattener or you're adding spacing tubes, make sure you go to each individual website for the manufacturer of your flattener, because spacings are not all the same.
They're not.
Some spacings of certain flatteners that are out there say one thing but are really another. So you want to make sure that do your due diligence, find out the backspacing, make sure it's correct. Ask people, find out. Usually the standard is 55, but that doesn't always happen that way.
That's not always the case.
And you just take a look at Eric's with the FLT 91, which is what he's trying to deal with now. The whole thing is that if you take that same flattener, that flattener is made for William Optics scopes. Really, you can use it on anything, but it's really kind of tailored to do it. And for different scopes, you have different spacings because that's the way they figured it out. But just be aware and just make sure that you ask the right questions.
Yeah,
and to add to
that,
let's take a look at the critical focus zone, because remember, we've talked about this many times. If you've got a very fast focal ratio, you've got a very narrow critical focus zone, and we're talking about microns. So I mean, if you're, say, like at an f2.2 or 2.8 or an f3.5, typically on your 55 or 56 millimeters, you're allowed plus or minus 1 millimeter of back focus forgiveness. But when you've got very fast focal ratios, you've got to be dead nuts. You've got to be much closer than just plus or minus 1 millimeter forgiveness. And also, let's kind of address the issue now with tilt. Gerd Newman has a new, what they call a CTU.
Yep.
It's a very robust, what they call a camera tilt unit. And the Octopi is been introduced as well, which is phenomenal now for the Rosses. So these are something that I would recommend that people should look into, because the Gerd Newman looks very, very good. I've been looking at that And we've just brought them into Woodland Hills, and they look very, very robust. Much easier way
And
to go
I
ahead
tell
and
you, and to throw my comments in on that there, Pete, to piggyback of what you're saying from about Gerd Newman, I actually I ordered the CTU, and I'm waiting for it to come in from Hamburg. Last time I saw it was still probably in customs or something somewhere in Germany. So I'm waiting for it to come in. But Amy Astro, she has a fantastic video where she discusses tilt, back focus, CCD inspector, as well as she is the one who sort of introduced me because I had no idea about the Gerd Newman CTU. She purchased it. And based off of her recommendations and that review, I went ahead and I reached out to Gerd Newman and I ordered one. So now I'm waiting for that to come in. And one of the great things that Amy commented on that makes it appealing for me, and I'm sure make it appealing for a lot of other people as well when they're using with these tilt adapters. The ZWO, for example, tilt adapter, as well as I believe there is another one, Teleoptics, I believe, over in Germany. They have these tilt adapters. However, and they're push and pull. Okay, so you have to you loosen, one, and then you tighten the other to do either a push or pull motion on these. But the problem is that sometimes they're right in front or on the face of the tilt adapters, right? So it makes it very difficult depending on what your optical train and whatever you have in the middle of your optical train. Say you have a filter wheel or whatever. It makes it very difficult to get these little Allen keys inside those tilt adapters, and to make those adjustments to your tilt. Now, I was lucky, and mine, I had an extra, 2.5 mil, hex key here, and I was able to adjust mine, but some aren't that lucky. Now, the CTU, the screws to adjust it are actually on the outer ring.
Yep.
of the unit, which is really, really nice. So you don't have to worry about dealing, with what I just had to deal with mine and until I get my CTU. And it makes it really nice to, just adjust it from the outside than digging around and trying to figure that out. And there's so many other things when it comes to tilt and using the CCD inspector. Some people, I honestly didn't think about this or didn't realize this for a while, is when you're looking at your images, you take an image out of CCD inspector and you want as dark a field, as blue and as dark a field as possible. But sometimes you're going to get, shades of green and pink. And that means that you're getting slightly, those are defocused stars. You're not very, you're out of tilt, you have a tilt issue. However, we have to remember, and this is one thing that I had to, figure out myself, is that when you're looking at your image, don't forget that you're looking at it basically, the top of the image is actually the bottom of the sensor. It's reversed. Yep. So you have to just remember that. So if you're looking at, a CCD inspector image of your tilt and your curvature, and you're seeing things out of whack at the top or at the bottom, take in consideration and then go back to your camera and remember, okay, I'm just keep in mind where you saw that. So it gives you an idea of how you have to adjust, either, based off of where those tilt screws are, if you have to go towards the bottom of your sensor or towards the top of the sensor to start making those fine adjustments. So that, and then you just have to keep going back and forth. Then you're going to be putting in some steps, unless you have your laptop and your computer right there next to you. Unlike me, I'm going back and forth inside my house, doing some steps here to take these test images, and usually they were saying you can take it at minimum, maybe 10-second images but you have to take multiples, so I take about 5 10-second images. and then I combine them all together. Kind of, I just select those 5, and then it runs the test, to let me know where my tilt is. But just keep in mind, where you have to adjust the tilt, since your tilt adapter based off of what you're seeing in CCD Inspector.
Oh, I got a question that I could hit on. So Captain 404 just threw one up there, and Pete, you may be. I don't know if Eric, you've tried this, but you could actually attest to this, because I believe I did your scope with it. But Captain 404 asked, "Do any of you think that the Hotech Advanced CT Laser Collimator is worth it?"
Well, at almost $500,
It's expensive. It's
it's
expensive.
not cheap. It is not cheap. Me personally, yeah, it could be worth it, but there are other alternatives to use versus just going out and buying the Hotech. 2 of them that I would recommend right off the bat. The first one, which is probably the least expensive when you're talking about a Schmidt-Cassegrain and doing collimation, is to look at getting a Tribatanoff mask. That would be, and I have created, and I did a video, so on Astro with Eric, on how to use the Tribatanoff mask to do for your SCT collimation, for your Schmidt-Cassegrain collimation.
Well, here's the thing with that, though. Can you use a Tribat in the daytime?
No.
There you go.
But that's where I'm getting to my next point, my next thing. And I actually have this in the back here in my workshop. Is the it recently came out earlier this year, I believe, or late last year, the OCal.
Yeah. Yep.
The OCal collimator. And it's it's a camera almost about the size of your smaller hockey puck type ZWO cameras, and it has software, and you can install on your computer, and and then you have to calibrate it and it's a quick calibration off of a Excel spreadsheet. And if you can find them, I've heard very good things about them. I've used it. It seems to work pretty it seems to work pretty well. I have to, I haven't really done any real reviews on it, but from what I've seen so far and from others, it has had some fairly decent success with not only Schmidt-Cassegrains, but other different types of reflecting type telescopes, such as Ritchie-Chrétiens, Newtonians. I think even I believe someone I saw a video of even someone using it with a Mac cast. So they're if you can find them, they're about half the price. They're actually probably around $150 to just under $200. I know Amazon used to sell them, but I think I don't know if they're still selling them or not. Excuse me, but check those out as an alternative as well.
Well, I'll tell you, the Hotech laser collimator, it's super accurate. And the best thing about it is that you could do it during the daytime, just like Eric's, but it gives you a bunch of different types of. The one thing about the Hotech collimator is that if you're gonna buy one, number one, make sure you read the fine print on it, because they're only good to a certain point. Nothing lower than, Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, nothing lower than 7¼ inch. So if you have a 6-inch Schmidt, you can't do it. If you have a 6-inch RC, you can't do it. The baffles just get in the way. You won't get the return beams that you'll need for the laser. They do make, I think they make other ones for bigger scopes. I think it goes up to 11 inches. But for anything over 11 inches, you need to get a custom-made one, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think so.
The one thing I found with collimators is that depends upon the scope. Case in point, there's really good collimators for Newtonians. There's good collimators for SCTs. for the astrographs, which actually say like the epsilon, the Takahashi epsilons that have a parabolic mirror, that you're going to definitely need, like, say, a Howie Glader and a 2-plug to go with something like that, because that particular scope, it's a little bit harder to collimate. Believe me, I mean, it takes you a couple of times to really get the feel of it, and then like with RC. So, as you said, there's so many different collimators out there that you really need, but you just got to kind of do your research, do your due diligence, and find the one that's more specific for the type of scope that you've got.
Yep.
In case in point, Eric, just for your information, for the CTU, the back focus consumption on that is going to be 17.3 millimeters. So you might want to keep that. That's how much it's going to consume in your back focus.
Oh, the CTU? Okay, 17.3. Okay, cool. I'm going to put that in my OneNote here, so I can add that to my back focus. So cool. Thanks.
It's funny. So I just did my first Ritchie collimation in about a year and a half last week. It wasn't as bad as I thought. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I mean, I'm sure that it wasn't that far out of whack to begin with, so I'm sure that made it a lot easier on my end. But Bob just threw. I use a combination of 3 collimators on my RC, and that's funny he said that, because he was in the store when I was like, "Hey, Bob, how do you do this thing?" Because I know you got an RC, and he, so we were talking at the store last week, and so. We were talking about the Howie Glader. I think we spoke about this last week too, or maybe Wednesday night, with the coarse and the fine threaded collimator, the concentric circle attachment, right? We spoke. So when Starlight Instruments took over the Howie Glader business, the whole thing is that they started making things a little bit differently. So the threads are a little bit different. So their concentric circle attachment, which you need for collimating, like an RC, to get those concentric circles all evenly spaced, so you get that return beam, and it's nice. So the thread on the newer collimating tool doesn't fit the old Howie Glader. So somehow, some way, I got it to fit in the far point collimator. So I used a far point collimator. I used the Howie Glader for one part. I used the far point for another, and then the far point, like, little sight tube Cheshire eyepiece for the reflection back for another. So I did the same thing. So it was fun. It was different. It did take me, it's been a while. It took me about 2 hours to do it, because I'm not used to it.
Okay.
I'm sure that people that are used to it could do it in a fraction of the time. But I'm hoping this guy is happy with it. This is a customer of mine that said, "Take it. I trust you. Just fix it." I said, "Okay, you're the guinea pig."
And that's one of the things that you bring up a point, with the time it can take to do collimation. If you're buying these particular types of telescopes, don't give up, because you're going to have to collimate often. Get a pattern down, learn, there's, like, to your point, there are different, tools, to your point, Pete, you can purchase. Find the one that works best for you. Keep at it, because you are going to have to do this, multiple times, throughout the year.
Yeah.
You're going to have to collimate at least, depending on your scope, so many times, so get a routine down.
Yep.
And take notes. There's another thing. Take notes.
And I think we can all attest to this with the SCTs, right? You don't want to fight gravity. You want to use gravity as your friend.
Yeah.
So.
That is true.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, I tell you what, Dan, you know what I mean.
What, with the focuser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I think what it is, it's like it's a rite of passage that everybody goes through it. They always seem to fight against using it the other way around, instead of saying, "Hey, wait a minute, gravity is my friend here. I should use gravity."
Yep.
But also another thing, be careful, when it comes to, especially with Schmitz and so you're doing these, when you're collimating, even with, if you're using, the standard screws, the standard, M3 screws that are coming with, the Schmitz, or if you're using Bob's knobs, be careful with them. Don't take, when you're using these screws, because you don't want to end up making a mistake and loosening up these screws, and then all of a sudden that secondary gravity does act on it, and you put it in the wrong place, and it drops right down on your primary.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
So you do not want to do that. So just be careful.
That's the difference between a whoops and an OS moment.
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. So someone also asked, can you collimate a refractor? Or how do you collimate a refractor? You can collimate a refractor, but it's not something I would recommend you do yourself. That would be something you would send, contact your manufacturer or your your astronomy store. And if they have a technician that's skilled at doing that, have them do it. Don't do that yourself necessarily.
I'll tell you this, without a workbench and a laser, that is, I won't even do refractors in the store because I don't have the equipment needed to do it correctly. I would really send somebody, whoever comes to refractor to me, I would tell them, well, you know what, if it's an Explorer or if it's a William Optics, send it to them, let them do it. And then it's all covered and there's no issues. Just be careful because refractors are a very different monster when it comes to collimation. Now I know Tyler keeps on telling me he wants to train me on how to do it, but I've never done it and I've never had the equipment to do it. So just make sure that you have if you go to somebody that does it, make sure they have the right equipment, the right collimator, a workbench, a nice laser, and enough space to do it, not in in a bedroom like I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, I even have which one? I have artificial stars that I've used.
Right.
And the one thing, when with the Schmitz and that you want to make sure of is that you get plenty of distance, because I tried to collimate, using the artificial star in my basement,
right.
and I didn't get enough space. I was basically, around 70 feet, from end to end, in my basement. That was not enough. You need to have at least, I would say, 100, perhaps. That would be ideal. At the minimum, have 100 feet of distance between your telescope and that artificial star. Now, I'm not sure, even with the artificial star, if you do, you could, in theory, you could collimate in in the daytime.
Oh yeah, I do that in the store all the time.
With that artificial star.
Absolutely. I do that in the store all the time. The store is very, very long. It's literally like a football field long. So I'm able to do up to an 8-inch with your artificial star. But you really want to, you can do it during the daytime. You just got to remember that it still needs to be darker in the area.
It does.
Yeah, because that little pinpoint is so dim when it gets in, and trying to find it it's just it's not easy. It's not that easy. But Scott, I'm sorry, Scott, I can barely hear you. Is your volume on or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
He's not saying anything.
I thought you were saying something before, and I saw your mouth moving, and I didn't hear you. So I was just.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that you need at least 100 feet. I'd say at least 100 to 150 feet at least.
That's for a small scope. You need
that's like for the smaller scopes, like my 8-inch or something like that.
No, you need more. You need more than that for an 8-inch. For an artificial
more than 100?
You need like 100 yards.
You need like 300 feet?
Dude, you could do it, but it doesn't make it easy. It doesn't. You can get like one of those, not the Hubble one, but like if you get the astronomic pinprick, the pinprick one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You need a long distance to do an 8-inch.
Yeah. Because I think that's what I have. I have the little. I have like a little Hubble.
A little flashlight looking one.
Yeah, little
with the
flashlight
5.
one.
Yeah, that's
that
the
has,
Hubble
like,
one.
the 5.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one I have. So yeah,
I gotta be in the next county, you know, to use one of those things with my 14.
More like the next state.
Yeah.
You might have to be in Cuba. You might have to be in Cuba, Scott, to be able to collimate that puppy with an artificial star.
Yeah. And to Tom's point, you are correct. Even the best daytime collimation needs to be tweaked with real stars. You're absolutely correct.
Yep.
You still want to, of course, once the daytime collimations, those are to your point, Tom, it's a good start. It's a good point to get to, but you still, no matter what, you still want to finalize everything, under dark skies or dark, so you want to get under the actual stars and finish up that collimation for sure.
And all right, let's see.
So let me see who, if there was any other. I think, yeah, Dave. What is MetaGuide?
Yeah,
I think someone
another guiding program.
Maybe you already answered that.
Yeah, I answered
Okay.
that. It's another guiding program. It's pretty decent. I played around with it.
Yeah, but you can also collimate with it as well. It does have a collimation tool.
There's a tool in there. Yep. So sorry.
Yep.
What am I doing? Yeah.
And it looks like, I think I was looking at CCD Inspector as well. There's, it'll tell you also, it'll give you a reference for collimation, how well you're collimated or not. So
yeah, and you'll see how that number changes based on your curvature and your tilt as well. So you want to make sure that those are on the money first, and then worry about your collimation, and then go back. Then go back and forth and fix the other thing. So one affects the other. So you got to kind of do a round rosy kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well. With the software, is that there's just so many different pieces that you have to work with.
Yep.
You have to take care of. The tilt, the curvature, the collimation, all of it. It's one, then you have to deal with one, then deal with the other.
So did I tell you with that RC that I collimated? Did I tell you about the tilt plate that was pushed up against the back that you could? Okay,
I think you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Hold on. All right. So here we go. Here. Okay. So this is the RC. It's a tiny guy that I collimated. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I did some research on it. Now, here's the tilt plate. Now, this is the tilt plate right here. You can't really see it. It's very close to this collar here. Okay.
Okay.
Here's the back. So what the person did was they use the adapter here to extend the back end of the tilt plate. This is a separator for the tilt plate and the back plate of your primary. So you're able to get to the screws here on your tilt plate and the screws here on your. The person had smashed up right against here, and then using this.
Yeah, he had smashed up against it.
And was wondering why he couldn't get either focus or anything or whatever. So I don't know what that's all about, but
I don't know.
But
that's, again, there it is. Those inexpensive GSO RCs.
Dan, hold that dovetail plate up again. Let's see. Is
why
that two dovetail plates?
Oh, the dovetail plate.
So yeah.
Oh, I know what he's probably done. He didn't have a long enough length on the original, so he just kind of added.
Yep, that's.
Yes, we added on.
So there you go. So I think I was able to do a decent job on it. So we'll see.
Okay.
Really needs a star test, like we said before, but
yeah.
How about finding actual focal length? I know ASL got that ASI error in the focal length. It's
Yep.
always wrong. Or
You know
it's,
what?
Or it's always
Actually,
right.
It's actually pretty accurate because, again, with me using CCD Inspector, throwing in, these images and then it does a measurement, it actually comes up with the same focal length.
Yeah.
So it inspects it, is actually dead on, just like what the ASI error is showing.
Yeah,
So
it just
it's
seems
like,
so weird.
okay.
Like I got my red cat out there, right? And what is it,
Mhm.
250, right?
Yeah,
Or
it's 250.
It's 250, right?
It's
But the
supposed that's
ASR
what it's
shows up.
advertised as, is 250.
Yeah, the ASR shows up at 247. So so it's kind of weird.
So does the ASI do a blind plate solve, or do you have to input the information?
No, well, you input the information as far as your
For the
focal length is
go-to.
concerned, and then what they do is it takes a picture and figures out your actual focal length based on the picture and the information you put in.
Yeah, because you can even put in just a 0 in the focal length and then do a go-to.
Yep.
And then based off of it taking that initial picture, that preview picture, it'll plate solve. And then it'll come up with the number as far as, the focal length. And it'll add that into and it'll put that into the computer, it'll fill that in to your
Interesting.
camera
That's pretty
focal
cool.
length.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah. So
So
Mike G just said put in 0 for the focal length.
yeah, if you put in 0, you can. Yep.
I don't know what to image or to test first when I get my RC.
Mark, you know what? It's possible. It could be just reading what the fits header is saying. So that's true. It could be just reading what the fits header is saying off of the focal length, off of the ASI Air Pro. But who knows?
I'm just talking about the plate solve. When it says plate solve, it says 247.
Yeah.
That I'm not even looking at the fits header. I'm just telling it's saying 247. I said, man, I want my
Right. No.
I want my 3
When I made the
millimeters back.
comment about the CCD inspector saying, when it
Oh.
was giving me the focal length,
Got it.
Mark was asking you, say, are you sure it's not reading, the fits header? It could be.
It's possible.
That's very possible.
I think.
Does ASTAP do that?
Does ASTAP do what?
Give you focal length, I'm assuming.
I don't think it does. No,
I
don't think it does.
believe I've seen it on ASTAP.
No.
To give the focal length, because I believe it may be doing just what, to Mark's point, may just read the fits header. But yeah, but the ASI Air actually, I think it does when it's doing its plate solve, is actually, reporting the actual focal length.
Yeah, Dave's making fun of me because I want my 3 millimeters. I want my 3 millimeters back. I don't know.
Yeah, I want my $2.
I want my $2. That's funny. I am gonna have to raise my step size for my focuser. I reinstalled when I was having all the issues. I reinstalled Nina. And of course, when you reinstall Nina, it erases everything, and I didn't back up anything, so I had to do everything from memory. So,
oh wow.
I didn't do so bad. But and a lot of the stuff is pulled from the firmware of either the camera, the filter wheel, whatever. So a lot of the stuff isn't that horrible. But I think I threw in 7,000 steps for my focuser, and now it's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Done 10. But it's not. It's like kind of like leveling out for 3.
Okay.
Okay. I don't like it to level. I like the U.
You like a nice.
I don't need a
curve.
V.
You like a nice U curve.
Yeah, I don't want. I don't want like a bowl. It looks like a bowl, so it's like it comes down and then it goes flat and then it comes up.
Yes. Is it kind of like? Is it almost like kind of like a a bow from a buck, like an old school
exactly.
bow
That's what it looks like. It looks like it's like Legolas. Legolas is here.
Yeah.
But, Bob Santos, there's a formula you could use with field of view and pixel size, but I'm too lazy. I might just get an ASI Air to use for collimation. Guess we have to go.
The ASI Air does the ASI Air does a lot of things, and it does a lot of things well. I will say, and I will leave it at that. It's not you know, it doesn't do certain things like super incredible, but it does a lot of things, you know, well, you know, to get you, you know, especially if you're really getting into the hobby and, you know, you want something in what they tout, you know, something easy to use, not so, you know, you don't have a super steep learning curve. You know, ASIR is the way to go, you know, and if
Yep.
you're like me and Jason, and we're lazy, you know, so it's good. But again, that's why probably I'm also going to Nina so I can. Oh, and there's Pete because I think he had that meeting, so he may be dropping off soon.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
But that's another reason why, you know, I want to try Nina because I want to try something, you know, new. Because there's going to come a point where, you know, I won't be able to use the ASIR because I'll be bringing in new equipment or bringing in new things into the environment.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think you're gonna like it. Literally once you get it all set, just like anything else, it's just press play and then that's it. You're good. But I'm gonna have to play around with my focuser. I'm gonna have to go.
yeah.
Let's go 9,000.
Yes. Let's see. I'm looking here. There's a couple things. Okay. Yep. Okay. Mark was saying, yeah, it sounds correct to use an OAG. You know. So not really any direct questions from what I can tell, at least for right now.
Nope.
So, but keep, you know, hey, if you guys have questions, shoot them over.
I'm just playing with the autofocus so I can actually have a good night one night.
Okay. And I had, you know, and for those, you know, you guys won't know yet, but I have my first blog article for the website. You know, I'm excited to share that. You know, when you post that, man, that'd be kind of cool.
No, it's very very cool, and yeah, he's got M106 a take on that.
Yeah. So what you're working on right now, a little bit on M106.
Yep.
A little bit of chat about a little blurb about Galaxy season and stuff like that. So
yeah, so
looking forward to
that's going to be headed off to Simon this weekend, and he'll have it up.
Nice.
I love having a mute button.
Yeah. Having so many issues with the ASIR and the CGX tonight. Yeah. It's probably, you know, I'm not going to disparage Celestron because I use a lot of their products, but it's probably one of the reasons why, you know, I got rid of the CGXs. You know, it was just too wonky for me. And now it could have been just mine, you know. So, and I had to spend time, you know, actually going through and trying to figure out how to hyper tune it myself and do different adjustments. And I just got to the point where it's like, you know what? I'm really not interested in learning to do a lot of that stuff. I just want something that, you know, if it has to have, you have to do a little bit of maintenance, you have to do certain things, I'm okay with it. But, you know, you see a lot of people who do hyper tuning on their mounts who they'll actually, you know, they'll take the entire mount apart.
Yeah,
you know,
no, I will not do that.
And then they'll clean it. They'll clean all the old gunk grease off that comes with these, you know, with these mounts, you know, and then they'll put on, you know, some nice quality grease, you know, lithium, you know, lubricant or what have you, or super, you know, super lube or what have you, and they'll put it back together. You know, I'm an IT guy. I like putting computers together and taking them apart, but when it comes to certain things like this, you know, it makes me a little nervous, especially when you're talking to, you know, some of the things that, you know, and how much some of these mounts cost. And if you don't do it well, you could void your warranty. So I get really nervous about stuff like that. And I steer clear and say, all right, if this isn't working the way I wanted to, then I'm going to either send it off or I'm going to get something that I have a bit more confidence in.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh man. You guys still want to continue to talk?
Cap 404 is asking Scott,
Oh.
you're using the C14? Do you like the new dew heater ring?
Yeah, it as long as you've got a good control for it. You know, I don't use the Celestron one. I understand it's a nice unit, but
Yeah,
you know, why would I use it when I've got an Eagle?
Yep.
right. Same here, and I've used it. I have it with my Edge 8, and I still haven't put it on my roster yet, but I'll get around to it. I've got 2 of them. I'll get around to it. But yeah, and I think it's great for, I think it's one of the more welcome pieces of kit that Celestron has come out with, at least in the past year, a couple years. I think it's been a good that was a good addition to bring that out.
Really awesome.
It's probably a good idea to make sure you're using a control unit, be it theirs, or an Eagle.
Or Eagle. Yep.
You don't want to. I don't think it's a good idea to run that thing at full power.
No. Yeah. No.
It just.
I usually run mine about 60, 70. Yeah, I usually run mine about. I have the power set at about 60 or 70, and it works just fine.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm disgusted with the current state of quality control. We can talk about. We can have an in-depth conversation.
Have a whole show
just
on that.
about that stuff, man. You're preaching to the choir when it comes to some of this stuff that we spend our good hard-earned money on, and we get it. Sometimes it'll work great for like a couple of days, couple of weeks, but then all of a sudden but when you hit that first glitch or that first thing happens after a certain period of time, then you're screaming up and down. So I can relate with that one, Tom.
Me too.
Has anyone used Astroberry?
No,
I honestly don't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is. If it's something
for the
dealing with
Raspberry Pi. So talk to Jessie on Friday night. She uses it. So So Jessie on Friday night. If I make it to Friday, we will we'll have him. Eric, you may be running the show on Friday, just so you know if I don't feel any better.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll figure it out.
Trial by fire.
Yep. Gee, sorry to hear about that, Cap. He's still waiting for his 533 MC that he sent in for repair in February. That's gosh.
Horrible.
That is.
All right, fellas. Well, I'm gonna dip out. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm a mess right now. I probably should have just called in sick. But
it's fine, man.
I'm not doing. Do you guys still want to continue on? If you guys still want to continue,
we can. If other folks have questions, you can for a while.
I also have had a very long day, so I'm probably going to dip as well. I'm just fighting sleep.
Thanks, everybody.
I hear you.
I got to make it to the store tomorrow. Maybe I'll leave early tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I'm
gonna try and take the weekend off. I think because I'm just crashed. But I'm never like this.
Totally understand. So you know what? I've had those days too. Heck, you know me. I've had a couple of days where I wasn't even in the show because I was feeling like what. So, well, guys, we're gonna call the show a bit early today, just for an hour.
We have 41 people on, and I'm calling it early. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. But I'm sure you guys can understand and relate. Sometimes you get the bear. Sometimes the bear gets you.
Yep. All right, everybody.
This is one of those days.
Good song, Limp Bizkit.
Also, hey guys. Also, if you guys have questions, do not forget we also have our Discord server. So definitely take advantage of that. I know. I can be on there for a while. I know also Mark Ellis, he's on there quite a bit at Phoenix Astro.
Yep.
You know, if you do have questions, feel free, shoot them over to onto the Discord channel. We really want to, you know, try to grow that, you know, as much as possible, and you guys, you know, your participation in that will help that out a lot. So feel free to use that.
sorry, Al. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, guess it's over. Yep. So that's it. So
all right.
All right, guys. Well,
All right,
clear
guys.
skies.
Hopefully, I see everybody on Friday. Everybody have a good night.
Yep.
My
And
apologies
you know,
again, but
no problem. You know, hey Pete, we're gonna call it. I know you had a call, but we're gonna, you know, Dan and Scott aren't feeling so hot, so we're gonna call it a night.
Is he back?
Yeah, he just hopped back on.
Oh,
so,
let me get him back on.
Yeah, so he just sat back down.
There you go.
Cool. Well, Dan, you get better.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
Get better.
Yeah,
rolling that in there.
Josh, I'll do an impromptu giveaway again, probably tomorrow or something. I apologize. I just don't even have the wheel.
Oh yeah, don't forget, you know, Dan, if you want to, you know, just, you know, hop off this for a sec, that's fine. But don't also forget, we have on the website, we have picture of the week. Don't forget voting. It ends, I believe, on Friday at what time, Dan? 5?
Friday at 5. Yes.
Friday at 5 Eastern. So don't forget about that. So, you know, don't forget you know, vote, you know, for that. You vote for the those images that are out there. And besides that, yeah, I really don't have much else. Scott, you got anything?
No, just looking forward to seeing you guys on Friday, and hopefully we'll have people back up to speed a little bit better than
yeah.
I apologize. I've had a really long day today, and I'm literally fighting sleep. I just don't want to fall asleep on camera.
Right. Nope, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. And I know Pete's got a meeting right now, so I guess I'm gonna just take us out then. So thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. And like Dan always says, keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And we'll see you on Friday. So take care, everybody. Clear skies.
Bye for now.